Why do I do these videos? Well, it's a simple question. The reason I do these videos is, well, there are multiple reasons. First of all, they're fun to do. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy, filming. I enjoy doing the whole multicam thing. I think it's fun. So there's that reason, which is the most important in just about everything that you're doing. If you're not having fun, not all the time, but for the majority of the time that you're doing something, if you're not having fun, then don't fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, do something else, right? Right. So on the one hand, it's fun for me to do. On the other, you see, as I've said before, I have small children. By the time my kids really need me, especially my son, really needs my advice, I'll either be a doddering old fool or I'll be dead, because my kid is 3 and I'm 50, okay? So what are the odds that I'll make it to the age that he's 33, huh? High or low? I'm guessing low, right? Yeah. So that's the immediate motivation. But the reason I release these videos onto YouTube is because I realize that a lot of young guys are sort of like adrift in the world. They're like tumbleweeds rolling around in this desert landscape, and they're drifting around at random, carried along by whatever breeze happens to blow their way. They don't have any direction, any self-generated direction. That's the most important kind, of course, where you are the captain of your ship. You're deciding, I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go wherever the hell I want to go, but I'm deciding. I am deciding, not my circumstances. If you're letting your circumstances dictate where you go in your life, then you're not really living, now are you? No, you're just reacting to whatever fate throws your way. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I figure that young guys today, they don't have any direction, because the whole concept of masculinity has been, how can I put it? It's made unpopular. It's been made, not only been made unpopular, but people actively shit on guys. And so guys are in a double bind. On the one hand, as a sex, men are shit upon. And on the other hand, they get no guidance. So they're drifting along with, they can't make heads or tails of their lives. And that seems to me grossly unfair. It is grossly unfair. And it's a problem, it seems to me. And I think that the real problems of this regime that we're currently living under, well, we're going to see the real effects, the real negative effects in the not too distant future. I think that the worst is yet to come, if you will. And one of the problems I have, or I've seen rather, let me phrase that, one of the problems I've seen is that a lot of young guys figure that, to be a man, they gotta say whatever the fuck is on their mind, and they gotta be their own man and be tough and project out into the world aggressiveness. They confuse being a man with being aggressive, being needlessly aggressive, being aggressive to the point of being obnoxious. And a lot of these guys who go out in the world striding as if they're, king shit of Turd Mountain, right? They're like, I'm a big man. They walk around like that, and they get into all kinds of scraps, and they arrogantly or foolishly insult and belittle people around them. They burn bridges. They burn bridges that they might need to cross at some date in the future. And they don't have the guidance, to realize that to needlessly antagonize people, to burn bridges, is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. It's the exact opposite of what it is to be a man. Let me explain. What have I said all the time? I say all the time that to be a man is to control your emotions, whatsoever those emotions might be, and instead allow your reason, your brains, to dictate your actions. I always say that the only difference between men and every other living creature on the face of this earth is this single ability, the ability to sublimate your emotions and force your reason and logic to dictate your actions, as opposed to succumbing to your emotions and acting irrationally on the spur of the moment. This ability to control the fight or flight response, to sublimate the fight or flight response and instead to use reason and logic to dictate your actions is the reason that we have the civilization that we do. We men are the only creatures on this earth that can do it. Every other creature on the face of this earth is ruled by their emotions. Even women are ruled by their emotions. And the obvious fact is, ask them how they're doing every 28 days, and you'll know. See, women are ruled by their emotions just like every other living creature. We men are the exception. Now, a lot of times in life, you're going to meet other men or women or whomever that you don't like for whatever reason. You think that this fellow over here, he's an idiot, or he's this, that, the other. It does not matter why you think so, but you do. And perhaps you're perfectly justified. Perhaps your appraisal of the person is accurate. The person is an idiot. The person is a fool, or this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. What does a foolish man do? What does a man who is controlled by his emotions do when confronting a stupid person, a person who's just an idiot? You know what that man who is ruled by his emotions does? He tells the guy, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, a fool, a fucking retard. He burns a bridge. He deliberately burns a bridge. That's just stupid. It's not only stupid, it's succumbing to your emotions. Yeah. Because basically what's going on is that, see, you met some guy, some John Smith, right? And you met John Smith and you didn't like him for whatever reason, be they justified or not. And you decided that, fuck it. I'm going to tell him, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. I'm going to tell him what I truly think. I'm going to tell him what probably nobody else is telling him. I'm going to tell him that he's a fucking idiot. I'm going to say it right to his face. I'm going to burn that bridge to the ground, motherfucker. Yeah, he's going to know my name. He's going to know that I'm a tough motherfucker, that I can tell it like it is. I can tell the truth to people. I'm so cool. I'm so tough. I'm such a manly man. No, you're not a manly man. You're a fucking imbecile. Because now John Smith, after you told him off, told him what a fool he was, blah, 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 now John Smith hates your guts. Before, if you'd kept your mouth shut, what would have happened with John Smith? You would have interacted with him some more, and then you would have just peeled off and gone on your merry way insofar as your life is concerned. And maybe John Smith would have thought, oh, I didn't like the guy that much, but he wouldn't have thought much of you, right? I mean, one way or the other, a negative or positive, right? But by you telling off John Smith, what's happened? Now you've earned John Smith's enmity. Now he hates your guts. You burned that bridge with John Smith. For what? What purpose? I mean, please tell me. Was there a purpose for you burning that bridge with John Smith? Because what happens if you need to go back to John Smith, go back to that bridge and ask John Smith for help? What happens then, you fucking retard, huh? This happens all the time. It happens all the time. These guys, and most of us have been this guy, these guys who act like all tough, who say, oh, I'm going to tell him, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind, I'm going to tell him what's what, I'm going to tell him to his face that he's an asshole, he's an idiot, he's this, that, the other. Yeah, right, you tell it to his face, and you made an enemy out of the guy, now didn't you? He's an enemy, and he ain't going to help you on the way back, now is he? When you need to recross that bridge that you just burned. It's not going to happen. Now, here comes the tricky part. Sometimes you need to burn a bridge. You need to tell off John Smith. You may have to make it clear that you think that John Smith is an asshole or an idiot or this, that, the other. You got to make it clear sometimes. But you have to know why you're making it clear. See, a lot of times what happens and what's going on is that in order to find allies, you have to define who your enemies are. It's a simple fact of human nature. A lot of times people understand who you are and where you fit in society by the enemies that you keep, by the people whom you tell off, by the bridges you burn. Sometimes you actually have to burn a bridge, even when you might actually like somebody. But it's necessary for you so that you can ally yourself to other people who will help you achieve your goals. Because that's life. Rarely can a single man achieve his goals in life. More often than not, he needs assistance. He needs allies. He needs friends. Friends who can help him. Friends who can give him the assistance that he will need to achieve his goals. And sometimes the friends that you need to achieve these goals are not people that you particularly care for. And sometimes the enemies that you have to make in order to define yourself, in order to find these allies, are actually people that you might enjoy, whose company you might enjoy, whom you might actually like. But this is the trade-off you have to make as a man. This is the trade-off. You have to realize that what you want out of life, your interests, your objectives, what have you, sometimes you have to sacrifice potential friendships with people in order to ally yourself with others. It seems so, I don't know, how can I put this? It seems so unfair that sometimes you have to burn a bridge in order to make friends with other guys who are on the other side of that bridge, you know? But that happens all the time. You're going to find yourself a lot of times that you have to burn a bridge and make an enemy so that your potential allies can realize that you're on the same side of the river as they are. The Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés famously burned his ships when he got to the New World. Now, he burned his ships because he thought that by burning the ships, he would make his men work harder in order to reach El Dorado. Now, as a metaphor, it's very powerful because it's very true. More often than not, you'll find that when you burn your ships, when you burn bridges behind you, you are more motivated. You are more motivated, and like I said before, it helps define who your friends are by defining who your enemies are, right? So you have to be very, very careful which bridges you burn. You have to be absolutely certain that a relationship that you decide to eviscerate, to torpedo, to utterly destroy, you better be absolutely sure that destroying that relationship, number one, gets you the approval of the right friends, the friends who can help you achieve your goals. And number two, is not somebody that you're going to have to deal with in the future, whose help you aren't going to have to ask for in the future. Because it's pretty embarrassing to have to ask for the assistance of somebody who you blew off or told off. Yeah, you ever had to do that? You ever told somebody to fuck off and then, you know, a few weeks later or maybe a year later or something, you're going up to them and say, well, sorry, I told you off and told you to fuck off. Can you please help me? Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, and more often than not, you're not going to get any help. Of course they're not going to fucking help you because you told them off. You told them to fuck off. What, you know, a little time passes, you know, you think that people forget that kind of thing? They don't forget it. They do not forget it. When you tell somebody off, you tell them off forever. You tell somebody off, you tell them to fuck off, to get lost, what have you, they are never going to forget it. I've noticed children sometimes, I mean small children, you know, like 8 years old, even up to 12, 15 years old maybe, can get into a big fight, a big scrap or whatever, and they'll be able to patch it up later. They might call each other the worst names imaginable, and they might be able to patch things up later on. But with adults, that fucking does not happen. With adults, you tell somebody to fuck off, and their sense of self, their sense of dignity, of self-worth, well, they're going to remember it. And it's going to hurt them that you told them off, that you told them to fuck off. And they're not going to forget it. They're not going to forget it. And at the first chance they get to stick the knife into you, they're going to take it. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you in this video is, don't fear telling somebody off. Don't be afraid of you know, telling somebody to fuck off if they're really annoying you or really getting in your way or what have you. But see, if you're going to take that step, if you're going to take the step of burning a bridge with somebody, you'd better be absolutely sure that you know why you are doing it. See, just as I was able to quickly tell you why I do these videos, you have to be able to quickly say to yourself, if anybody, why it is exactly that you are burning the bridge with somebody. Why it is that you are permanently antagonizing them. You have to know for a fact. You have to be perfectly self-aware. There has to be good reasons for burning, for destroying a relationship, because you will never repair it if you burn somebody like that and tell them off. Well, worst of all, if you tell them off in public. They will never forget you. They will never forgive you. And they will have it out for you. So you better know exactly why you are doing it. And if you're not sure whether you should burn a relationship or not, my suggestion is don't burn it. Don't burn the bridge. If somebody's really trying your patience, but you figure that you might need them, suck it up. Suck it up, write it down in your notebook, in your little black book, and move on. But don't burn that bridge. Unless you're absolutely sure that it will benefit you, there is no reason to. You're going to have to suck it up. What I meant by controlling your emotions. Somebody annoys you, says shit to you, somebody that you can't stand. But you have no compelling reason to destroy the relationship with them. And you think that perhaps at a future date you will need them. Well, then be a grown-up, be a man, control your emotions. Do not allow your fate to be dictated by your fight or flight response. Do not allow your fate to be dictated by mere emotion. The animals in the woods, they run from the woods when it's on fire. And when a animal sees a threat and they can't run away, they turn and fight. But you as a man have the ability to control that fight or flight response, this sacred and blessed ability to control it and allow your reason and logic and knowledge to dictate your actions. Don't be fool enough to make enemies for no good reason. Don't be afraid to make enemies, but know why you are making enemies.